Good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the T Podcast. We got a great episode for you today. Do forgive me if, obviously it's live, so sometimes I can mess up on some things and be a little goofy. I have two great people in here today. We're going to be talking about Festival International, and that is coming up quick. April 27th. So we're going to be talking about that, and we're going to be just kind of getting the scoop on all the things that Festival International is going to have and everything that you can expect. So, but first, let's go ahead and get our intros in work. So first we have Carly Viator, right? So Carly, go ahead and just kind of introduce yourself for those who do not know you yet.
Hi, I'm Carly Viator. I'm the marketing director over at Festival International. So I get to do all these fun interviews and podcasts and all the marketing stuff for your favorite music festival.
Yeah, well, it's good to have you. And thank you for being on. Mm-hmm. And then we have Sami. I don't know how to pronounce your last name.
Take a stab.
You want me to take a stab at it? Oh, God.
Just like it looks.
I'm good at butchering. Okay.
I almost emailed you how to pronounce it, but I didn't.
All right, here we go. Parbhoo.
Boom.
All right, really?
Parboom.
Really?
Boom.
Wow. Okay, so Sami Parbhoo. Go ahead and tell us who you are and kind of what you do with Festival.
So I am the president of the board this year of Festival International. I'm part of a group of volunteers who've volunteered for quite a while, and we're part of the decision making and helping with more of what's going on with Festival. But we are a big group of people on top of that, other than the board. It's a bunch of us that make Festival happen.
Awesome. Well, for those who don't know, this is the T. All right, so we're going to be talking about Festival, and I guess I want to start off, Carly, what is Festival going to be like this year after the obvious elephant in the room of the pandemic and all of that good stuff that just kind of rocked the world the past couple of years? What can people expect? And obviously it's in person, which is exciting. Do you guys feel that it's going to be a bigger festival than we've ever seen before? Like, what's the vibe? What can we expect?
So the vibe so far, the community has been so supportive. They've been showing up for the in-person events we've done and just showing their support through purchasing, becoming Amis, and this and that. That's really given us an indicator of how excited everybody is. We do think it is going to be our biggest and best festival yet. Ultimately, because A, we have all this bottled up energy, but B, because now we appreciate Festival on a whole new level. After having 2 years that we didn't get to be together, I think it's just going to be so exciting. And there's always a magical vibe in the air, but I just know this year is going to be next level. So we're excited. Things are looking good.
Yeah. I mean, the past 2 years with it being virtual was interesting. I still feel the vibe was there, but there's something special about being near people, feeling the energy. You kind of have like this artificial energy whenever you were watching it live. You're like, okay, I could feel the essence of the energy, but it's like, it's just intangible. It's like right there, but I can't
touch it.
Yeah. So Sami, with your role, what do you do to kind of make, what are y'all's position to, I guess, make Festival magical?
Wow. Well,
it's a loaded question, I guess.
It's a loaded question because it's not only, first of all, it's the whole community that makes this magical.
Right.
To tell the truth, really. There are a lot of the staff at Festival, they work so hard. And this year, as being the president, I'm seeing how much work goes into it. And I'm like in awe of how much they do, truly, all year. And just leading up into all this. And then the board, we also work hard. A lot of the people who are on the board are people who manage areas at Festival. But it takes the crowds. It's like you said, it's that magic that happens when Lafayette comes together. It's like an annual reunion of Lafayette coming together, dancing together in the sun, having a few cocktails. It's something special. And I talk to a lot of the bands, and they always talk about how great the crowds are here. They are really into the music. They're dancing along, and it makes the musicians want to come back and play harder and all that. So it takes all of us to make festival magical.
Yeah. So I guess in your role, what are your daily, I guess, duties as far as the president?
More of an oversight. So Scott Feehan, he's the executive director.
Yep.
So he's the one doing they're doing most of the work. We're there as support or in decision making, where there's some certain decisions we have to decide on what we're going to do with. That's where we step in. And most of the work happens during festival. That's when the board also gets very involved in everything, is that time of year.
Yeah. And I don't know what you do outside of this. So for those watching, because everybody knows Carly is like a creative person, and Carly and I talked, but I'm not familiar with who you are personally, just outside of this, just meeting you today. Are you a business owner? Like what guided you in being part of Festival International? Like what makes that happen?
So I sell wine.
You sell wine? Okay.
Yeah, but when I first started, I was managing a small fabrication shop. So it has nothing to do with my normal life, is why I'm part of festival. My wife and I lived in Washington, D.C., and we would come every year for festival. It was always special to us. Even living in an international city like D.C., we felt festival was that important to us. And like I said, it was a reunion. We see all our friends from college and all this family members at a big party. So it was great. So when we moved back, I was asked if I wanted to volunteer, and I was like, absolutely. I'd be honored to help keep this festival free and be part of this amazing experience. So that's how I got involved, and I just wanted to do more. There's, that's how I gradually ended up where I am now.
Yeah. And so you live in Lafayette.
Live in Lafayette.
Awesome.
Sell wine. Yeah.
There you
to
go.
Restaurants and stores. Yeah.
Do you still have family in Washington, D.C.?
I do. My brother lives there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll talk a little bit more further down. So Carly, I guess I want to talk a little bit more about what the overall feeling of the festival this year is, and what are you guys seeing? Like, are you getting feedback, or what does that look like? What are you expecting from festival this year that maybe years pre-COVID didn't allow or didn't happen?
I mean, honestly, we've only had great feedback so far. We're an outdoor event, so I think that alleviates a lot of the pressure about everything that we've been through with COVID. We have a lot of measures in place, especially with our bands and everyone that's in close proximity in terms of how that goes. But ultimately, yeah, we've only had positive feedback, and, we've been missing some of the elements that we couldn't give you virtually was the food and the art market. So to add those elements back in this year, I think people are going to be even more excited, because I always say you go out to festival and you get to use all your senses. So the sights, the smells, the sounds, all of it, we miss that. So I think people are just they took that for granted. Maybe even me too. So just being back there together, I think it's just going to be like the happiest place on earth, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. So before we get too far, we want to mention our sponsors. Yes. So oh my God, I am opening up the wrong app, guys. Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm going to make it, like I told you guys, this is live. So our first sponsor, you may already know, the Music Academy of Acadiana. They are Acadiana's top choice for music lessons. They teach students of all ages and styles. They have about 500 students enrolled each month. So it's a very active, locally owned business founded by Tim Benson, who is a UL Lafayette Music School graduate. Basically, you can learn anything from voice, drums, violin. One of my favorite instruments that I wish I could learn is a saxophone. I may have to take up the Music Academy on that. But I love Kenny G. I know I might sound super nerdy.
Yeah.
Like I love his Christmas album. Like it gives me the feels. I don't know why. But so they teach students, like I said, of all ages and styles. They've sent students to college. They've even premiered on American Idol and The Voice. So great company with good credentials. Their goal is to make music lessons fun, educational, and to help foster that next generation of musicians and creative thinkers. So you can check them out, Music Academy of Acadiana. Sorry, Music Academy Acadiana.com, Not there's no of in the website. Anyway, their Facebook page, you can check them out there, and their Instagram. And I think the founder is on LinkedIn and Twitter and all that good stuff. So. And then we also have our tech sponsor, who is The Orchard, another locally owned company. They're Acadiana's only Apple authorized service provider. And you may be asking, what does that mean? Basically, if you go to a service company to get your iPhone fixed, if they're not Apple authorized, then they are doing everything on their own, just kind of, which is nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. However, The Orchard does everything to the standards of Apple. They have to communicate with Apple. They have a checklist. So if you have a broken screen, they'll fix it the right way, make sure all your keyboard and all that good stuff doesn't stick, and it'll be working just as you bought it brand new. So check out The Orchard. They have 2 locations in Lafayette, one in by the Buffalo Wild Wings on Ambassador, and then in Carencro next to Super One Foods, and their website is theorchardstores.com. All right, so got our obligations out of the way, and I really appreciate those guys because the Music Academy, he's been sponsoring the podcast now for like over 2 years. So
that's great.
Yeah, solid.
I've never heard
really
of that, so that's great.
You never heard of him?
No.
I
Yeah.
get Facebook ads.
Cool.
Yeah. Tim Benson, he's a local musician, so he's had a few, I want to say it was punk rock bands. You know, everybody had the punk stage.
Absolutely.
So yeah, great guy. So I had a random thought right before we did the sponsors. Have you guys ever contemplated, and this could have been a very, very small window of time because it's still brand new, having a portion of festival in the metaverse?
What is that?
You don't know?
Like, explain where you're going with that first.
Like, okay, so, and look, I am not a metaverse user yet. You have to have virtual glasses, and basically, it's a whole nother world. It's basically what virtual reality wanted to be 20 years ago and what it's becoming now. And so you can actually buy digital real estate, not a web domain, like literally plots of digital land in the metaverse, and it goes for high dollar. Like, it's bizarre. And it's really stems from Facebook, which
Change their name and all that.
Yeah. Look, we have a love-hate relationship with Facebook, and Facebook might actually ding us for this, but they're doing something that is kind of weird and kind of cool at the same time. So you put these goggles on, right, and you are with a bunch of other people roaming around in this digital world that actually has buildings and land, and you're just like an avatar floating around. It's really interesting.
Have you tried it?
I have not.
Okay. I'm interested to see.
I'm interested to try it too.
So I see my perspective, and then I see avatars of like you and whoever.
Yeah, like, so you'll have like your hands or whatever, and you can see, you can feel yourself in a sense of like being able to see your hands. But like Facebook even has dedicated advisors that are floating around in there, like real live people. So like you can like hover up to them and like ask them questions, and they're literally on a headset at Facebook headquarters, just kind of sitting in the metaverse, like helping people.
Wow.
It's bizarre. So perhaps this is super brand new. Yeah. Like,
it's a lot to digest.
So when you're saying it's just so that where you can put it on and be at festival wherever you are kind of thing, is that how you perceive it?
yeah, perhaps. I don't know what all you could do with it. So like,
That's what I was asking. Yeah.
yeah, like maybe there's like an alternative meta festival verse. I don't know how to like frame that, but like you would have separate concerts happening there only for those people who want a metaverse experience, who may be still leery of being around a lot of people. I don't know. I mean, it is a personal thing, but yeah, I just,
it's a cool
thought. Just a thought.
So someone creates like a virtual version of downtown and all that.
Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know how much that land would cost, but
oh, exactly. I know it sounds pricey. Like,
ask Jamie what she knows.
for a
His
free
wife's a real
festival.
estate agent.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I know, for a free festival,
I don't know,
like
but,
spend a ton of money trying to get this
Well,
metaverse.
what's a cool idea is when you brought that up, I was thinking where you can put on the goggles and be at festival.
That's pretty neat.
So you have the thing where the 360, so you can just turn around and see the people around you. You just set up that camera there that's 360.
That is actually a really cool
And
idea.
for people who are out of state, we can do it like that. That would be a cool way to make some
that.
money. That's
Yeah,
more realistic, and that way you get to experience the live festival. Like we talked about, people miss the live festival. So to me, the meta universe is cool, but you're missing out on the real feel.
Yeah.
Having that where I can put on my goggles, my brother who lives in DC and can't make it this year could be like, all right, oh, look at the banner, look, oh, so-and-so's here and so-and-so's here.
Yeah.
Like, great.
You know, I like that idea a lot better than like trying to make it go to digital rather than bringing the digital to
Exactly.
the live event, because I would personally find it amazing to have like 3D cameras set up all around.
Exactly.
And so like if you have a headset on, if you want to be on the stage with a band, like the camera would be on the stage and you could be with the band on stage and like look at on the crowd.
Right.
Like I think that'd be pretty cool.
That is really cool.
I feel that's more affordable.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And we can
Yeah,
like
we need a
raise funds
sponsor.
for that and all that. We'll find
Yeah.
a sponsor for that.
I think that's more tangible because
Yeah.
it's already being applied more easily.
Correct.
Yeah.
That'd be more. That would be fun. Like that's something I would be
Yeah.
like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That was one cool thing about virtual festival is it was the first time we had a truly global reach. You know, we had people watching from all over the world and a lot of people that had never even been that were watching, you know, whatever band. Now they want to come. So that was a really cool thing that did come from Virtual Fest. And we are looking for new things to implement because that kind of opened our minds. So thanks
Yeah.
for that
Yeah.
that idea.
And I know you, oh God, it was a couple years back. I think it was BC before COVID.
Yeah.
Y'all were talking about maybe doing a silent disco. Has that ever been something that was tried yet?
We always are talking about it and trying to figure out how to make it happen. Ever since I've been at festival, every year, especially Candace, tries to make it happen. So eventually we will. I think we have the manpower in Lafayette to do something cool. It was just kind of a lot to take on this year being, you know, coming back. But I love the idea of a silent disco.
Yeah, yeah. And it's so weird. I after we had that podcast where I don't know if it was you, I know Scott was on it. We were talking about a silent disco, and I'm starting to see that more often. Like I'm on TikTok and there'll be videos of people in a silent disco and it's so silent and all you hear is like their
It's
shoes
surreal.
squeaking.
Like, creak, creak,
Yeah, and you're
moving.
like,
Cool.
this is odd.
It
But
is.
they're all jamming, like just
Exactly.
headphones on.
They're
Right.
not awkward, just the viewers, huh?
Yeah, just the people in the silence is awkward, but everybody else is having a good time. I think that's that'd be interesting to get people's perspective watching people dance without having any sound. I think
Yeah.
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, we would definitely need a sponsor for that. And we were exploring different ideas with like the headphones and this and that. It will happen